Hi, Tom. Today we're going to talk about spousal visas, and I have 11 questions. I thought the first one we'd start off is what is the difference between a visa for a fiance and a visa for a spouse?
Well, the main obvious difference between a fiancé visa and a spousal visa is that the marriage has already occurred.
Does it matter where the marriage occurred to use the spousal visa?
It really doesn't matter where the marriage occurred. It could have occurred in the United States or it could have occurred abroad. What is important is that the marriage is valid in the location in which it does occur. So if the marriage occurred in France, it must be valid under French law. If the marriage occurred in Nevada, it must be valid under Nevada law.
If I file a spousal visa, if I already filed a fiance visa, what happens with the filing of the spousal visa?
If you've already filed a fiancé visa and you get married, the, the fiancé visa is no longer valid. If you get married, you're required to file a spousal petition. You cannot convert the fiancé visa to a spousal visa petition. You have to file a new form.
Okay. Um, who can file the spousal visa?
To be a petitioner, you need to be a United States citizen or you need to be a lawful permanent resident of the United States.
Where do I file the spousal petition then?
All the petitions are filed with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is part of the United States Department of Homeland Security. They must approve the visa petition first before any further processing with the consulate or embassy can occur.
What kinds of documentation are necessary to file a spousal petition?
Well, the most important document you need is a certified copy of your marriage certificate. Now, frequently when people get married, at the marriage ceremony, they will receive a memorial certificate of the event. But that's not what you need for immigration purposes. For immigration, you need to get a certified copy of the document that was filed with the civil authority.
Are there other documents that I need to provide?
Yes, you need to get 2 passport photographs for each spouse. And it's always a good idea to get the birth certificate and a translation, if necessary, of each of the spouse's birth certificate.
What happens after the Immigration Service approves the visa petition?
Well, after the visa petition is approved by immigration, it's transferred to the U.S. Department of State. And specifically, it's transferred to the National Visa Center, which is an office which acts as a clearinghouse to receive all filing fees, all application forms, and all supporting documents. After the National Visa Center has done a review of all these documents, then an interview is scheduled at the embassy or consulate abroad.
What is really the biggest difference between a fiance visa and a spousal visa?
You know, there are many differences in costs and timing, but probably the most important difference between the two is that with the spousal visa, once it is issued, your spouse enters the United States as a lawful permanent resident. In other words, after they arrive, their green card is sent to them to their home address in the United States through the mail. There's no further processing on their part. They don't have to apply for work authorization. They don't have to apply for a travel permit. Once they receive the green card, they have everything they need to start their life in the United States.
Well, as a client, do I need to provide evidence of my relationship when I file for a spousal visa?
When you first file the spousal petition with immigration, you provide the marriage certificate. But you should collect and hold on to things like photographs of you and your spouse together, travel receipts, letters, correspondence, social media correspondence, because all that documentation is going to be submitted to the U.S. Embassy or Consulate at the time of your visa interview.
What about a divorce? If I've had a divorce in the past, what do I need to think about?
You know, if you've had a divorce, you're going to have to get a certified copy of the divorce decree or dissolution decree and submit it along with your marriage certificate. The burden of proof is on the petitioner to show that all prior marriages have been terminated.
Well, lastly, do I really need a lawyer to file a spousal petition?
Immigration law is a lot like taxation. It's an administrative practice. The law does not require that you be represented by an attorney when you file a visa petition. However, having a licensed immigration attorney file your case as an attorney case can save you a lot of time and money. It can facilitate the filing by making sure it's filed correctly to begin with. And secondly, it can smooth the transition of the case from the Immigration Service to the Department of State.
Well, great, Tom. If people have any more questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can always call us at the law office, 707-747-5133, or look us up on our website at www.thomaslangfordlaw.com.
Thanks, Tom.